that's fine. So we're hanging out on we go during the day on Saturday to the lake house. We record in there. My voice is shot. I'm doing like a talky thing, like I recorded some song. I forget what it was called. It's about a duck hotel. Not a fuck hotel, a duck hotel. There were other tunes. It was good. And then we got back and we had our gathering. We had our meeting. We all had, most of us had one of Fog's brownies. No big deal. We're hanging out. I now introduce you to part 2 of the Pickle Fest 2019. This part I would like to refer to as the brownie apocalypse. So, Fogg said he made it according to a recipe. Eyewitnesses, like Banks Clipperton, said he might have thrown an extra handful in. It's possible that this was rather potent stuff. We're cooking the dinner, and I try and pour the baked beans into a pan, and an invisible wall shows up and blocks me, and I start giggling, and then I think I'm going to fall down the staircase, so I hold onto the wall, and then it occurs to me that I'm tripping my balls off. At this point, Leecham's like, oh, it looks like Sellen's having a good time. I'll eat one of these brownies too. Things start deteriorating rapidly. I can only talk for myself, what I remember. I know things got bad. I suddenly felt like I was going to hurl, and I ran outside into the middle of the lawn and lay down in the lawn. It was cold. And lay down in the lawn and started just barfing my brains out. Chuck was there. He was watching me. I'm like, are you here because you're watching over me or because you don't feel great either? And he's like, oh, I'm tripping. I got walked back into the house at some point. I know it was the living room looked like an opium den. There were people spread out on the couches everywhere. And we were fighting over the barf buckets because there weren't enough barf buckets for all of us. We all wanted the barf buckets. Me, Fog, our host Apollo, and Leecham were all violently ill. Leaf, Chuck, Red Yellow, Banks Clipperton were all seriously tripping, but were not sick. Even Tam, thankfully, did not want a brownie. He believed that there were pot-sniffing dogs that would find him at the border. Thank God, because we needed him. And Tyke Regular, in a rare moment, did not eat the brownie, which was weird because he normally would always eat the brownie. And they basically wound up, Taco Kichi was like, I'm out. Got his car and drove home because he lives nearby. A wise decision. And Taco and Eroom basically took care of us. Eroom thought he needed to call the police because things were escalating in the wrong direction. And Tyke was like, no one has ever died from pot. We just need to wait it out. And I remember I would go on these, I would lose consciousness and just be flying through rainbow colors. I was ready for the ride to end. The ride did not. At some point I looked to my left and Leaf was standing there in his jeans and no shirt. And he was like, I think people are really sick in the kitchen. And I'm like, I think they are too, but I cannot get up from this chair. And Apollo was doing so much barfing. He thought I had died and been replaced by veggie burgers, Beyond Meat. He called me Beyond Niles. At some point, I was one of the first to be able to walk again, but I did not feel right for weeks. Well, at least a week. There's a song documenting everything about this, later recorded by Apollo and Tyke, an Apollo Tyke Thanksgiving. I recommend everyone to listen to that. I'm happy to send you all the link at some point. It's a top of notch. That brings us to 2020. There was a thing. So there was this pandemic. I think most of you should be aware of it, and we did nothing. The very end of the year, we had our first ever online Pickle Fest at Fogg's urging. I think it was good. We all had a good time. We talked, we hung out, we chatted. We stayed up till like 2 something, just chatting and drinking. It was a great time. I was actually hungover the next day. And 2021, we've done this email here, this recording. That's all I've done. But recording sessions soon for those who are inoculated, which should be all. Please tell me none of you idiots are not inoculating. You've all, if you new TMP edict, get inoculated. Don't be stupid. And then we can all gather in Maine, except E-Room, because you're not allowed out of Canada. I don't think we won't hold that against your attendance record, because, international law. But we're going to Canada soon. It's coming. That brings us up to Chapter 8. The center of the TMP universe. Now, as some of you know, one of my stranger things that I like to do is I like to track the center, latitude, longitude point of where TMP is by taking where everyone lives and mathematically figuring it all out. In the past, this has yielded hilarious and fascinating results. The first time I ever did it, it turned out the center of the TMP universe, I shit you not, was Niles Valley, Pennsylvania. So clearly it was discovered at that moment that TMP was special. Very special. That, that can't just be chance. So I've been tracking it since then. It's been interesting, but I really need to share the current center of the TMP universe. So I did it a little more detailed, where first I charted the distance with each person going through numbers. So first, number 1 and 2, me and Chuck. The center of Chuck and I, Bridgeport, Connecticut, the shittiest town in all of Connecticut. Seemed accurate. The first 3, the dead center of Lake Erie, the grossest lake of the Great Lakes. It all was tracking, Then the center wandered off into Indiana, and then to Niles, Michigan. Again, right across the border from Niles, Michigan was where Art brought us. Then off down to here. Then Leacham brought us back down to Lake Erie. But in the dead middle of Lake Erie is an island called Bass Island. It's probably Bass Island, but I'm going to say Bass Island because Leacham Ladlebay is our bassist. Come on! This can't be chance. Then later tracks down into Ohio. Then Tyke Regular, he was in between Niles, Ohio and Charles, Ohio, or something. I think that's what it was. I got to look again on that. That one was a good one. The end point, the center of the TMP universe at this point, tracked down to the minutest detail, is I found it, and it's just a dead middle of nowhere in the mountains in Pennsylvania. No town near it of any significance. I was quite depressed. I pulled up trail mapping system to see if that, and it turned out there's a small mountain peak that the center is right next to. So the center of the TMP universe is Dykes Peak, Pennsylvania. That some of you may be thinking this is a sign we should record an inappropriate song. But that would be those of you who are not completists, because as all those of you know who own one of the 3 copies in existence of Music to Strip To, our landmark landmark 1998 album, 1997 album Music to Strip To, the closing track was a 9-minute epic recorded by E-Room and Chuck called Planet of the Dykes. So I think that this being our new center, Dykes Peak being our center, is just a sign that we have never recorded Planet of the Dykes live. And I think the next time we play live, we should play Planet of the Dykes, because, you know, that would be super appropriate. I didn't really have time to do a cheers and jeers, so we're just not going to do that. Farewell. You know, that's it. This is wrapping it up. This is a 40-minute email, voicemail, YouTube video that would have been like 2 hours out of your life to read, but I made it quicker. I condensed. There's still going to be a follow-up email to this later with a questionnaire, you know. This month in TMP history, chapter 11. I can just backtrack that in my brain. 2016, we weren't doing anything. 2011, we were gearing up for Rocktoberfest. 10th anniversary thingamajig, big deal. Awesome concert. 2006, my house was getting ready for construction, but we had the most excellent and awesome Squatting for Vinyl live album, 2006. 2011, we were gearing up for the 10th anniversary of TMP. The legendary number one in Suck concert that we thought would be the absolute most destructive, chemically fueled, debaucherous event we ever had as Pickles. And I believed that till the day I died, that would be true, until the brownie apocalypse came a year and a half ago. And I hope to God that we never have anything that bad again. Who knows? You know, maybe at the 45th we discovered some kind of new something and we think we can do it like the kids and it all goes horribly wrong. 1996. Dude, we were about to graduate college and we had the Live at RBC album. That was shut down by security after like 5 songs because, you know, apparently you can't sing songs at the top of your lungs in a radio station if the Office of Crap Services is above you. So we got shut down. But, you know, we have the security on tape shutting us down. It was a good time. 30 years ago, Chuck and I were still in high school, and I had discussed forming a band with him. We were in the discussions. I don't think we'd even recorded I hadn't even recorded the first song yet. TMP was still gestational. It was almost there. That's it. I'm going to send out a questionnaire. We'll do that, you know. I'm going to want you to fill it all out. Liner notes, album release dates, Pickle Fest, whether you want these things to continue to be videos or whether you want to read a really long email, you know, that's all I got. Yeah. How'd we do? What'd you think? Subscribe. That's what they always say at the end of the videos. Comment. Like. That's what the kids say at the end of their videos. Comment, like, subscribe. I think I'm going to try and put this on a YouTube page, like a TMP YouTube page, because my actual YouTube page now has like stop motion videos for my daughter, and I need to not have those things at the same place. So, right on. What's going on with you guys? We'll talk in the comments section. Have a dialogue. Dialogarino. That's all I got, you know? I got a ukulele at Christmas. It's pretty cool. I like the tunes, you know? Vote on what you think should be on the greatest hits. This probably should have ended like 5 minutes ago, but I'm just babbling now, you know? Hey, let's hang out at Bruce's sometime soon. We can't hang out at my place. I got a kid and wife, but I'm sorry, Leaf Springstones. Who's this Bruce? I don't know anyone named Bruce at Leaf Springstones. I hope that's cool with you, Leaf, but, you know, it's probably not. We'll figure it out. Long live TMP. This usually I have an epic ending where I'm like the future of, I don't know. I don't really have that, but be your best pickle.